This is an election that is perhaps saying a plague on all your houses.
I'm not sure that that's what it's saying. I think that George Galloway is a very particular political figure, and this by-election has come when the whole issue around Israel and Gaza is to the forefront, when the Labour candidate had to stand aside because of anti-Semitic comments he made, and that there's been clearly a strong religious vote. And that should concern us if we are getting religion determining votes in UK politics. This has sort of happened before. Obviously, it happened a lot in Northern Ireland, happened a little in Liverpool, a little in Glasgow. But this is very unusual for UK politics, and it's not, I think, a good thing for British politics.
I mean, this is sectarianism, really.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. It's very bad news for the Labour Party, because the Labour Party thought that it had a bloc Muslim vote, and it's now found that actually that's quite tempted to go off for George Galloway, which it's done before in individual
Do you think
by-election.
that this has implications for the wider general election later this year, or is this just a Galloway-specific phenomenon?
I think it could have implications, because if you look at what's going on, if you look at the marches that are taking place, if you look at how, since the 7th of October, we've been talking about a sectarian vote, something we never talked about before, how strong feelings are about what's going on.
What about
Gaza.
in 2005, where many constituencies that look like Rochdale, that perhaps have large ethnic diversity, actually went to the Lib Dems, who presented themselves as the strong anti-war party at that point? There are a huge number of former Labour seats that switched over to the Liberal Democrats, their highest ever performance as a party in 2005. Could we say that that was a bit sectarian?
Well, that was slightly different, because that was a domestic British political phenomenon, and people who weren't of the Muslim faith, or of any particular faith, voted Lib Dem because they were against the Iraq War. Bear in mind, what was it, 2 million people took the streets of London to oppose the Iraq War, and by no means were all of them Muslim, whereas...
Well, many people march against the war in Gaza who aren't Muslim.
They're not all, but this is much more of a sectarian issue, isn't it? And the numbers of Muslims in this country has grown because we've had such a large amount of immigration in recent years. And so I think the circumstances for a sectarian vote are much more favourable than they were in 2005.